All right, I'm rolling early this morning because I've got a lot to cover and I have the time. If you miss any of it, you can, of course, always go back and check out the replay from the beginning at leaddeck.ai/closers. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to set up all of the marketing for an open house this weekend on one of my listings, a new listing that went live this weekend. I typically don't do open houses unless the listing agent is insistent. It mainly because most of them that I did in 2025 just did not bring in much opportunity. And when I do them, we put a lot of time and effort and energy and money into promoting them. So, risk reward or the ROI of that. However, with the reverse prospecting I did on this listing yesterday, there was another EXP agent that offered to do an open house on the listing. So, why not? So I've got this checklist here that I'm happy to share with anyone and will be included with the replay of this. I have a number of other resources that I'll be working through today as I do the work. And this will also be a longer session because, again, I have the time and I've got a lot of work to do. So I'm just going to work. I'm going to work through, what I have to knock out. At 9:30 a.m. Eastern, the bottom of the hour, I'll do my typical intro, etc. So this is just kind of like an extra work session for me. What I'm realizing is I don't even have on here. Oh, yes, I do. I'm sorry. I do. It's under the MLS section. I'm actually going to start with this section. I've already done the reverse prospecting. However, I haven't added the open house to the listing in my MLS as well as the public remarks. So I'm going to do that right now. And then I'm going to do a bunch of free digital marketing and or, AKA advertising. And then I will also be setting up paid advertising for this one as well. Open houses are at the bottom here. Add open house. It is a public open house. It is in person only. It will be Sunday from 11 a.m. She's holding an open house on my listing and then potentially on the buyer agent on my team. She's got a listing that she took. She actually helped I think it was her cousin purchase a property, a fixer-upper that he fixed up and now they're reselling, fix and flip. Hope you'll join us. I don't know, the open house remarks. I don't even normally put open house remarks in there. I'm going to go to the public remarks, open house, Sunday. What date is Sunday? 18th, 1/18/26 from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, so I'm going to publish that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use listings to leads for some of this open house promotion. You can get a free 21-day trial at growwithjosh.com/L2L. growwithjosh.com/L2L. Drop that in the chat as well. So that is there. I started way early this morning. And I wanted to record this all for those watching the replay. But this will be a lot more fun in about a half an hour when everybody starts to show up, because that's when it was originally scheduled. All right. I'm going to delete this and start fresh, because when this imported, it didn't have all the photos and some other information, including the open house information, etc. So I deleted that. Now I want to grab the listing. It is my listing. It is 17055. And the listing ID is right here. So I'm going to pull that listing in. So while that's importing, I'm going to go over here and walk through this. This is a checklist that I use and follow promoting an open house, but it also could be useful if you're doing other events, first-time homebuyer workshops, workshops or things of that nature, meetups with investors, things of that nature. A lot of this will also be applicable to that. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it, particularly the social, post to social. Oh, whatever. Let's see how we're doing here. It's still importing the listing. What else can I do in the meantime? Let me think of what else. Online ads, lead deck. Well, yeah, I can pull up. I think I've already done this, but maybe I haven't. So I'm going to pull up leaddeck.ai, because one of the things that I will be doing in the marketing of this listing, I've kind of already started, is finding who are the active landlord buyers. Right here, we've got 72 active landlord buyers in the zip code. And this is a property that it's a newer townhome. The current owner bought it as an investment property. So he bought it 3 or 4 years ago, and it's only ever been a rental. And there is demand for those type of turnkey rentals. I have several active clients who are, looking for deals like that. You free at all today? ? That's one of them, actually, that this type of property fits his buy box. So I'm going to run this. I'm going to pull 10 of them. Looks like, okay, this was pulled in. So while that's running, I'm going to pivot back here. And let's see here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to take a look at this social post here. And actually, first what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that the open house information pulled in. I think that had just loaded up. So let me refresh it here. Come on. All right, I'm going to click over here. More because I'm impatient than anything. Come on. All right, well, I'm gonna go over here and check out some of these while we. Okay, so right off the bat, this investor might be interested in this property because I can see this is a similar type of property. This one too, Antonino. This is a similar type of property. So I'm going to do outreach to them a little later this morning, but this populated here. So let me see if we can make sure. So it's got the listing date. I forget where you put the open house info. Oh, right here. the tab that says open house. Add new open house. So I'm going to add the open house in here as well. Save that. Okay. What do we got here? I'm going to go. Now, you know what? They have an open house promotion plan. I'm not even used that. Let's check that out, actually. We started early. We got extra time. Okay, they got a cheat sheet. Maybe their cheat sheet is better than mine. I don't know. Okay, here we go. 7 day. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to my normal flow. So I'm going to click on social media post, edit that. There we go. Oh, so it has already weaved in the fact that there is an open house here. Now, does it have the photos right? No, son of a gun. Why did it do that? All right, hold on. I got to delete this. For some reason, I think because I uploaded, whenever I uploaded them in or something, there was a problem with our professional photos. So we didn't get them as early as we normally do. So I didn't have them on the listing as early as I normally would. So for whatever reason, it's not pulling those in. I'm just going to upload them directly here. And then I'm going to do something. I'm going to follow my own advice that I shared on our Lead Deck Founders Club Mastermind on Tuesday, which is I'm going to rearrange the photos to create more engagement and get more click-throughs. The longer people are looking at the listing on different portals or on social, the more that sends a signal to the algorithm to show that content more. So any little boost we can get to that, the more the better. I would like to request the showing. I just don't have your name, is what I was trying to say. This is a lead that came in on a different listing from homes.com early this morning. And usually they come in with name, email, phone number. This just was just a phone number. I don't really know why. And I'm trying to obtain his name, and he's, I guess, just not understanding my questioning. And maybe it's that I'm not being clear enough. I'm going to open my blinds here. Okay, so let's rearrange some of these photos here. So I'm going to move this one there. I'm going to move this one to the end. I'm going, whoops, right there. And then I'm going to move this one up. And I'm going to put this one up in the 5-pack. And I'm also going to do something that I recommended on Tuesday as well, which is to include an image of the floor plan, because people will click that because they're like, I want to see that. That's kind of like, that's interesting. I want to see, like, what does this look like? So, and then I'm going to move, there was one more in the MLS listing that I had moved. Where is it? I think maybe the bathroom photo. Okay. So I'm going to save that. All right. Now when I go to social posts, it should have an image preview that'll be a little bit. Okay. Oh, it's a different one because it's it's talking specifically about the open house. So open house in Mechanicsburg, Legacy Park, and I don't know why. Yeah, for some reason, I guess it just doesn't, it didn't reset the, whatever the feed is, the IDX feed or whatever with that. So let me pull up the, oh, no, I didn't update it. I'm an idiot. So let me edit that first. There it is. Open house. Okay. I'm going to copy this, pop that in there. I just want that. And I'm going to put in. Come on. There we go. Put this in here. I'm going to play with the hashtags here. For sale. Oops. Okay. I'm going to copy this. Well, that doesn't matter yet. Hold on. Edit the image. So I guess you can't change that format. Oh, yeah, you can. I'm sorry. Look at this. Let's try that one. What does that look like? Let's try this. Like that. I'm going to go with that one. And I'm going to edit this. I'm going to say open house. Open house in Legacy Park. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're cooking with gas. I'm going to download this. The Facebook version is the vertical version of it. And I'm going to download the, okay, so now I got the two versions there. I'm going to edit them to geotag them on my phone. Okay, finally the guy gave me his name. So I'm going to take a quick pause here. I have a listing where the owner is handling all of the showings. That was his request. Good morning, Russ, period. I have Peter CC'd here, period. He was hoping to schedule a time to check out 701 Drexel tonight at 5 or 5:30. Would that work for you? Question mark. All right, now let's airdrop these. Let's airdrop. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to stop the share here for a minute. Oh, I didn't even pin me yet. So the first thing I do is I hit the I button so I can geotag, add a location. I'm going to put, normally I would put the specific address, but this time I'm going to put Legacy Park Drive, which is like the main drive of this community, just to mix it up. Townhome, townhouse, for sale, Mechanicsburg, PA, Legacy Park, Madison Court, Josh Shanley, eXp Realty, Realtor, listing agent. I still haven't fixed Siri to say my name right. Whatever. I'll figure it out. James sent me a how-to on that. So I'm just adding the geotag for that as well. Okay, so now that I've done those two things, I'm going to airdrop them back to my laptop, and I'm going to make the posts. And these are a little bit different, similar, but slightly different the way I'm going to do this because it's an open house. So, and most of you, yeah, we still got a light crowd, but I do have a checklist that will be included with the replay of this that has all of this outlined for anyone that has an open house now or in the future and you want to follow step by step. I'm going to start on Google, my Google business profile. And I'm going to choose posts, but no, hold on. Is it a post? Did they change something? Man, it must be a while since I've done this. Okay, let me see if this is, so you hit post, and then instead of an update, I'm going to choose an event. Open house in Legacy Park, 205 State Drive. 118. You know what? That's good enough because it'll have the start date and the start date and time and the end start and time, 11 a.m. and 1, not a.m., p.m. I'm going to put the vertical. I can still add a learn more button. Beautiful. So I can still add a learn more button, which is going to be this URL here. I'm going to paste that there. And then, whoops. And I'm going to delete the stuff that I can't have in here. You can't have emails. You can't have phone numbers. You can't have links. So for instant access to all photos, details, and more, tap learn more below. Let her rip. Now I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to switch to my my business page for my local practice. And I'm not going to make a post like I normally would. I'm going to start by creating an event. The last event that I posted. So this is when open houses jumped the shark for me, quote unquote. I went crazy marketing this thing. And we had like one couple through. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take a break on these for now. And I really haven't needed to do them. But for those that are coming on, well, you're not coming on late. I started late. For those of you just joining, I started early. For those of you just joining, I had another EXP agent offer to host an open house on the listing. And why not? And since she's willing to do that, I'm going to do everything I can to make it worth her while, because whether or not it becomes worth her, whether or not it ends up being worth her while, I'm still marketing my listing. I'm doing my best for my client regardless. So why not? I'm going to copy all of this, paste that in there. And And the event name, Open House, Sunday, 1/18/26, from 11 to 1, 205 Estate Drive, Mechanicsburg. Now, all of that information is in this listing several times, but I just want to make it as easy as possible for someone to find the address and attend the open house. So I'm putting it there again. The co-host, so this is my page, but I'm going to add myself as a co-host. We don't need tickets. Although, what's this? I wonder. What's this? I'm just going to put this, I don't know. I don't think this is going to harm anything. I'm going to put the link to the lead capture page as the ticket link. I don't know. Not going to hurt anything. Okay, create event. About 11 minutes. I'll do my normal intro when these are normally scheduled to occur. Oh, look at this. I can even invite people. I can invite up to 500 people. Oh, wow. Look at, hold on. Oh, watch this. I'm on my page, so I can only invite from groups that my page has joined, which is weird and awkward. And I don't even know why my page is part of these groups, to be honest. But a couple of things I can do. Well, I'll show you how I can invite a little bit differently. So, but a couple more things that I need to do here. Start a discussion. Why is it saying that? No, I want to share it to my page. Who do you know that might be interested? That's always a good catch-all. Now, I'm going to switch to my personal profile. And my events. Where do I find? I should be getting an invite to be part of the event. Where is it? Invite, interested, hosting. So where is it? All right, hold on. Let me think this through. Let's go. If I go to my page, there we go. There we go. I don't know why it's so hard to find that. So I'm accepting the invite from my page to be the co-host of this. And then if I hit the invite button, I can invite up to 500 people, friends, whomever, even in groups that I belong to. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm just highlighting the fact that you can do it. Why am I not going to do that? Because I invite realtors to stuff like this using this process, but I don't want to assume, like, I don't know. I'm just not going to do that. But what I am going to do is, and then I still have to post to next door. If you're coming on late, don't worry. I've recorded all of this. I also have a checklist for what I'm going through right now, et cetera, et cetera. You're not coming on late. If you're just jumping on, I went live way, way earlier because I had to do a bunch of stuff anyway. So it helps me to document it and share it, and I got to be doing it anyway. So right here is this event. I'm on my personal profile on my phone. I'm going to hit the share button, and I'm going to share it to my story, which, I mean, whatever. That's not a big deal. That's all it looks like. But here's the 80-20 of this, where you get, extra eyeballs, is if you share into groups. And I'm going to share into Mechanicsburg groups, which I'm a part of a bunch because that's like one of my main areas. Oh, shoot, I lost it. Hold on. So I tap share, and then you tap group over here, and then search for the groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can share to 10 at a time. So I'm going to share to those. I'm going to share that one. I'm going to try and find 10 that I can share to that are based upon the area. They would be relevant. So I'm almost there. Got to get to 10. Well, whatever. I think I'm at 9. I'm just going to go ahead. Who do you know that might be interested is what I'm going to put above the post or at the top of the share, and then I'm going to share it. And then next, I'm going to go to Nextdoor. I'm going to choose post, create an event, cover photo. I'm going to choose, that is the cover photo. The start date, the 18th. The location. Oh, look at this. Okay, so they have changed this a little bit over time, but when you put the location and you pin it, they will like proactively put this in front of those neighbors. Meaning, I'm going to put the location, it's going to show this to the people that already live in the community or communities that are in that area, which gets just free traffic and eyeballs, and people like to pick their neighbors and so forth. So let's say 205 Estate Drive. Use that. And I'm going to call this Open House, Legacy Park. I'm going to do Madison Court. So Legacy Park is like the whole neighborhood, or the whole, I don't know, is like the community. And then Madison Court, I guess, is the actual subdivision. Sunday, 118, 2026.
Can you post in any neighborhood, or does it have to be like where you live?
It's whatever location you're pinning, that's where it's going to get outsized distribution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking it had to be where you lived.
Yeah. No, if you don't pin it, it will pull. And so I did this accidentally. When I posted it coming soon, Tuesday on this, I think it was Tuesday, I forgot, or I either forgot or I just didn't like hit the button to actually pin it. And I have already had somebody that said, it was actually another realtor, said, I have a client who's interested in this, but I'm confused. It says Enola, but I think this is in Mechanicsburg. I don't care. They're scheduling an appointment either way. So like, doesn't really matter. But I don't know what would happen if I like tried to pin it to Colorado. Like, I don't know if it knows, like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense, but it seems to work.
This is timely. I'm going to do an open house on my listing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had someone volunteer to do an open house on my listing. That's why I'm doing the open house. And it's also a good excuse for me to just get this new listing in front of more eyeballs. Like, you know, all the better. I'm going to run out of time to do the ad for this live. I'll probably do that later and document it, but I've gone through the free strategies. It's all outlined in this checklist. This checklist will be with the replay of this, which is at leaddeck.ai/closers. And I'll drop it in the chat as well.
Yeah. Hey, you started early this morning.
I had to do the stuff anyway, and I had time, and I have a big long list of things that I want to get through for myself and also share and cover. So I just turned on the live stream.
Josh, even though I was on with him, I was the only one.
Oh no, I did. I don't know why I didn't acknowledge you. I guess because it was only you and I. Like if it had been three of us, I don't know. I saw you. Yeah. All right. Here's what I'm going to do because we're getting close to the bottom of the hour. I'm going to mute myself for a minute, take a quick break, warm up my coffee, and then I'm going to start with my kind of typical intro and get into the rest of the stuff that I have on my list for the day.
Hey James, you can give me a call after this. I got to talk to you about stuff.
Okay, cool.
Okay. It's the bottom of the hour. I've actually been on here for probably 40 minutes. So if you're curious what I was doing the first 40 minutes, it was promoting an open house. And all of that will be in the replay with this, including the resource that I was working off of, which is an open house promotional or marketing checklist. It's an open house on my listing. I had another EXP agent volunteer to hold it open. And I don't have the time or the ability to do that this weekend, but she is willing to. And it just gives me an excuse to promote and get more eyeballs on that listing, which is good for my client. So that'll be in the replay. The work you're avoiding is exactly the work that will change your life. The work that you're avoiding is exactly the work that will change your life. When you embrace hard things and tackling hard things, that's where all the growth comes from. I heard somebody else this morning. Oh, this is what it was. I was listening to Steve Young on the Tim Ferriss podcast. And I forget which one of them said it, but one of them said something to the effect of like, you're like the things that you become most proud of in your life, the biggest successes you've had, they're never from easy work. It's never from the easy times. It's from the hard times. Right? So like, if you're going through a hard season, just know that when you get through it and see it to the other side, like the person you become in that process, you're going to be proud of, and that will lead to the success. So, all right. I have been talking about sharing and hosting live workshops, sharing a 3-step blueprint that has been working incredibly well for me. It's a very simple process. More and more people that are following the steps are having success, including Campbell yesterday, who was on here cursing like a drunken sailor because he was so excited about all of the opportunity that came from one phone call. No, I love it. Fired up, brother. Yeah, I love it. And for those that are curious, I actually this morning I clipped that out, and I'm posting just that portion of yesterday's session on my YouTube channel later today. All of that said, a recurring theme that I keep hearing over and over and over from agents is 2 questions. How do I handle representation if I'm following this 3-step blueprint? And then also, how do I protect myself So I did my best last night. I was waiting. Sammy, my one daughter, was working out. And I was thinking through this, like, how can I communicate this more clearly? Or how can I answer this question so that it like really sinks in? So I opened up chat and I just started talking to chat, and I tried to do my best to walk through the different scenarios. So in the 3-step blueprint, we start with finding a deal. Typically, it's going to be an on-market active listing. However, Campbell, Stephanie, and Dana, since Tuesday afternoon, have all shared examples of expired listings that they've been able to get in communication with, have a conversation with, who have indicated that they would still consider selling if they brought them an offer. Okay. Regardless, we're starting typically in this 3-step blueprint, finding a deal. Typically, we're starting with an active listing, an expired, or for sale by owner. Someone who is either actively saying, yes, I'll sell my property, or has said, I'd like to sell my property, but for some reason, it didn't happen. In that scenario, if that's the bait I'm using, when I find the buyer, my representation is with the buyer. If that buyer isn't interested in that deal, in that bait, and I pivot and try to go find that buyer other opportunities, other deals, on market or off market, I'm still representing the buyer. So I get a seller that raises their hand. Yes, I will sell my property. What's the offer? I'm still representing the buyer. My representation flips when I've brought the buyer to the seller and the seller realizes, yes, I am ready, willing, and able to sell, but no, I don't want that buyer's offer. I don't like this cookie. I'd like to explore other cookie options. At that point is when I will flip to, I'm putting on my 7-day stress-free home sale hat, and we're going to list the property, and now my representation is with the listing agent. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? Is that clear? And the people that, I'll be honest, no one that I can think of that has directly asked my question is currently live on here. But is that a clear and concise way of walking through that scenario? Does that make sense? And if not, please, because then I'm going to flip to the next part of this.
Josh, let me ask some follow-ups there just to make sure, and it'll probably be beneficial for everybody.
Oops.
Go back to the slide, please.
I did. Yeah, that was accidental.
Okay. So what you're saying in essence is once we have the known property and we go out and we find the buyer, we become the representative of the buyer and we'll have them sign a buyer's brokerage agreement with us to represent them in that transaction. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but I don't have them sign anything until we're writing an offer. I'm not suggesting that's how everybody should operate. I'm just trying to make it clear these example scenarios, and in my experience and from the transactions that I have done over the last 6 months, and also this is how I operated, years and years ago as well. We often come back to what created success for us in the first place.
Let's go back to the NAR settlement that changed everything for how we have to do real estate, because we have to have an agreement with the buyer before we take them to see a property of what the commission is going to be.
Okay.
That's one of those things that EXP is going to hold you to, as well as our brokerage. How are you getting around it? Because I see the smirk on your face.
I'm just not doing it.
Either, Josh.
Campbell, I'm not doing it. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
It is nonsense.
It's complete nonsense. I have an agreement with them and I disclose and I'm transparent, whatever. But I have an agreement when it's known in existence that there is other written paperwork.
Okay, so you're not going down that trail. You're going to write it up at closing, and you'll put your commission in at that point in time, your compensation, your fee, whatever term you want to use for that.
Correct.
Have you discussed that with the known property owner in advance, or do you just present them the offer and this is what I'm getting compensated out of it?
Oh, it's at that point, unless they've already told me what they're willing to compensate. Unless the seller, so if it's an active listing and the listing agent has told me, hey, my seller is willing to compensate X amount, or if it's a for sale by owner. Earlier this week, I reached out to for sale by owners, and the follow-up after they said, yes, it's still for sale, I asked them if they're open to paying a finder's fee if I bring them an acceptable offer. Some of them, it didn't happen this week, but some of them will say, yes, we'll pay whatever, 2, 2.5%, 3%. Some of them will say that. So if that's kind of been established, that will be my guideline. Now, if they say 1.5%, I'm probably not going to write 1.5%, if I'm being honest. I'm going to put in whatever number makes sense. And then when I'm presenting that offer, if it's an off-market seller, a for sale by owner, an expired, whatever, with that offer, I'm providing with an estimated net sheet that includes whatever fee I've requested. So again,
two different scenarios. One they have representation with a listing agent. The other is an off-market property, as in the expired, the for sale by owner, or the ones that we drag out of deal deck that are potential sellers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Transparency at every step is anyone's biggest ally.
Correct.
So I'm glad that we're clarifying this stuff. I'm telling you, this shit never comes up. If you tell everyone the whole time what's happening, none of this ever happens. Ever. They might ask, oh, help me understand, what's this number here? Oh yeah, well that's my compensation because I'm bringing you the solution that you asked for. But Terrell and Stephanie have had their hands up, and I would love to hear. I didn't want this to take a long time, just transparently, but I want to introduce this, and I didn't even get to the second point yet, but let's go.
Okay, just very quickly. I'm in California, and they're kind of like, it's like the lack of clarity of what really needs to happen is rampant. And so I'm like you, Josh, I kind of fly by the seat of my pants and go forward. What I haven't really experienced is this unrepresented buyer, like a buyer by owner type of thing, And I don't even know if we have a form for that, and we've got a lot of forms. So but I understand. I mean, because normally here we would just go with dual agency, but
and you can, again, transparency is king. Transparency is king. As long as you're being as transparent as possible the entire time. Can you still get into trouble? Of course, because there are people in this world that just want to create problems. Okay. And again, it's why I would rather figure that out as soon as possible. If somebody's going to be a snake, show me your cards early, because there's plenty of fish in the sea, which is part of my next story, which isn't even part of this second point that I got that I'm going to get to soon.
Well, it reminds me here of I did a reverse mortgage short sale some years ago, and I had to tell the family, I said, look, no one's getting paid here except for me. And if you're okay with that, we'll move forward. If you're not, I'm out. It's fine. And they were good, so it's just, I'm with you. It's a communication thing. And we just have to be diligent and just not assume that people understand our kind of real estate language and bring it down to a point of this is what this means.
Yeah. Stephanie, go ahead.
Okay, I'll just make this quick too. When we're working with buyers, you can say what your commission is or discuss it, but whether it's written or not, I I look at this, just like some people have analogized this to dating. I mean, you're not going to ask somebody, for a kiss before you've even, gone out on a date. And that's kind of what this buyer broker thing is. It's like, just relax.
If I am forced to do that in
it.
advance at some point, I will do it the same way I do my listings. And I will say, I've got to make you sign this. I will have to check if it's an investor, I will have to check the box that says it's not exclusive. Because if they're a real legit, so when you're talking to the people in the buyers in lead deck, they're like real buyers. And so they know other realtors. And they have other realtors at certain times bringing them deals. So if you're trying to lock them in to only work with you for 90 days or 100 days or 180 days or a year, I mean, good luck. So it would be a non-exclusive, and I would make it very clear you can cancel this at any time with 24-hour written notice. And also the number that I put in there for representation, that gets changed all the time because I have enough opportunity. This relates into the third thing that I want to share, which I haven't even got to the second one yet. But the third thing I want to share is when you have a pipeline that is full of opportunity, you're not as obsessed over trying to squeeze out every little bit out of everything. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be compensated appropriately and fairly for your work. I'm just saying it becomes less of the way my approach is done next. Because some of them I get outsized. I had a listing close in November. I got 4%. I've also done them. I had I literally have a bank-owned property closing where the only thing they would pay me is 1.5%. And I probably could have asked that investor to pay me a little bit more. And you know what? I didn't, because he's going to list it with me after he fixes it up. So like, whatever. Here was the second point I was hoping to make with this. I'm not going to say who this person is. But the person last night that reached out to me, part of his messaging was, I have been a broker for blah, blah years, many years. And I don't understand that this is not clicking with me. And the part that was most confusing for me is this. Can anyone tell me what the literal definition of broker is? Anybody? Literal definition.
Isn't it? It's a connector.
You are being paid a fee to connect two parties. And so this person has only ever known, I go into my MLS and it says, this is what I'm paid. And for me, the viewpoint or the perspective I'm trying to have this person change is, you're a commodity over here. I'm bringing value to the transaction. So I'm establishing value that justifies my fee. And both of those parties know that. We're thinking like they know that. And again, if you do enough business, you will have someone. He gave the specific scenario. Well, what if I bring a buyer to a for sale by owner and we tour the property, and then the next day the buyer goes directly to the seller? Next, who cares? Because here's the thing. Every single one of you, this is already happening to, myself included. What do I mean? Right now, I guarantee weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, you are losing business because someone who would consider using you went and Googled you and didn't like what they saw. And so they went and decided to work with someone else. And that is invisible to you. You have no idea that that's happening. I know for certain it's happening to me. How do I know that? Because routinely, I have people in my database that I find out have closed a transaction with someone else. They either I didn't do a good enough job, or they didn't like what they saw when they went and Googled me. They don't like my goofy faces. They don't like whatever. It's already happening. So who cares? Who cares? Which leads me into my next transition. I didn't talk about this yesterday, but not that it matters. I had an appointment with a seller. Gosh darn it. Hold on. I got to call Sam. He and I play phone tag all the time. This is the guy with the giant house. Sam. Good morning. How are you, buddy? Yeah. With two things. Did you ever get with your partner on the townhouse in Legacy Park? Okay. Okay. What time? I am like would you still be available early afternoon? Because I'm tied up till 1:30, like 2. How about this? I'll call you at like 1:30, 1:45. What's your office address? Oh, okay. I know exactly where that's at. Perfect. I'll call you then. In the meantime, the property that I mentioned that could be good for developing, putting townhouses on it. What would be the best way for me to get you info on that ahead of popping over? Okay, fine. Sounds good. I'll call you. Thanks. I really should go directly there, but I'm not going to. I know where his office is now, so I can track him down. And I know he's not getting that deal from someone else. So it's all good. Anyway, back to my story. Yesterday afternoon, I have an appointment. Oh, I talked about this. It was the appointment with the woman that I talked to while I was in the bank parking lot Monday morning. Okay. I was waiting in the bank parking lot. They didn't open till 9, whatever. So, and I think I mentioned this when I talked about that on Monday. It's a nice home on a it's almost like 20 acres or 22 acres or something like that. And she really doesn't want to sell. Like, she loves the house. She wants to stay there, but she can't afford it. The house needs some repairs, and her income isn't as consistent, et cetera. And so one thing I said to potentially explore would be subdividing off a part of the land to create a cash infusion, fix the roof, fix the windows, get a little, save up a little money for whatever. And what I want to convey here, and I don't know that it'll come across perfectly, but I'm going to do my best. Transparently, a year ago, I would have handled that appointment a lot differently. Because a year ago, things were not nearly as good as they are today when it comes to pipeline and just in general. I mean, just very, very transparently and authentically, a year ago, I was in a very different place. So I truly did not care about the outcome that day, as it related to me. I only cared about listening and trying to find any way possible to help her accomplish what she really wants to accomplish, which is stay there. And it just struck me during that appointment how much easier it was coming from that perspective. Meaning, I didn't have to think about overcoming objections or creating fake scarcity or using NLP or whatever, embedded commands. I literally was just listening. She ended up giving me 2 bags of like homemade soaps and lotions and stuff. And also, at some point, she's going to need to sell it. Who do you think she's going to use? She is not going to talk to anybody else. I guarantee it. And if we can subdivide off the land, I'd love to sell. I'm good at selling that stuff. I love selling that stuff. So there was still something in it for me. But I genuinely did not care about the outcome of that, other than truly understanding what would be in her best interest and getting her that desired result. Doreen, go ahead.
Josh, just a quick one. So cell phone towers, if the zoning in her area will allow it, down here in Florida, they're paying like $1,800 a month, and they look like palm trees. So they're not an eyesore. They're not.
That is a hell of a recommendation, Doreen. I absolutely love that.
Also,
what's that?
so also they're environmentally sound.
Oh, yeah.
Also, and then the other thing would be solar leases. I've done the cell phone tower lease for someone that I sold an equestrian property to, but I haven't touched the solar, but I've looked into it for myself. So it's really, there's tons of opportunity with vacant land.
Yeah.
And it's usually less costly than going to the zoning board and having it go through, dividing the property.
Yeah. Love it.
Okay.
Thank you. Good stuff.
Welcome.
I'm going to go back because I didn't realize there were some things in the chat. So I'm going to go back just real quick, and then we're going to move on, and I've got a number of things to work through and work on and share resources, etc. Every state is different. The representation thing in Pennsylvania, number one, we have a form for, do we have a form? Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know if it's an EXP form or if it's a state form, but we have an unrepresented buyer form. So I've sold several properties where I was the listing agent, and I either had a buyer that came and told me it, like, and again, I'm disclosing and transparent at all of this, that came directly to me, and I will ask, do you want representation, or are you okay proceeding as an unrepresented buyer? Because if you are, it'll save the seller money and et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, we have a form specifically for that. And I would check if your state does, number one, and if not, does your brokerage, number two. And then for buyer representation, if your standard state form doesn't have this, I would imagine you could add to additional terms that something along the lines that this is for a specific property, right? This representation applies to this specific property that I am working with, the client on, et cetera. Because I just saw a couple of things on the representation down in the bottom. Okay. For sale by, I'm sorry, no, not for sale by owner. Deal of the week replies. Somebody raised their hand. Go ahead. Whoops. Did somebody raise their hand, or did I misinterpret that? Where is, hold on here. Oh, I know what the problem is. Sorry. Newbie. Oh, here we go. I got the Cynthia story. Now the deal of the week email replies. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So I scheduled out my deal of the week on Tuesday on this, and I got 4 or 5 responses. So I figured I'd share how I'm then following up with them. What I did, because I was busy, if I was not busy, I would have sent each of them a personal video reply. I was busy, so I just wanted to record one of them and not make it personal. So if it was personal, I would have their name flashing in lights on my phone, and I would be speaking directly to Terrell or James or Stephanie or whomever. But I was busy. So I created and recorded a Loom that was just generically about the property and the deal of the week. And then to continue the conversation, I told them at the end, if you would like me to send you all of the photos and additional info that I have, or maybe I said photos, or if you'd like to check it out in person, just reply to this and I'll get you that, or we can schedule a time. I wanted to share it for 2 reasons. Number one, to show you how you can still make it feel like a personal reply and not personally reply like in that fashion. And number two, I am getting some response. Now, this goes to a big bucket of emails. so every week I'm like, man, I wish I would get more replies, but this one, it got 5 or 6 replies, something along those lines. Any questions about that before I go to what I'm going to schedule? This is closing a loop from yesterday. The guy that I talked to about the horse property, I'm going to send out another mass email to my database, but it's not going to be the full teaser here. It's literally just going to be it's going to be more like a text message essentially. And it's just going to be, hey, who do you know that's looking for a property that has horse stalls, or horse property in Cumberland County? Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I've got mine scheduled. It'll go out this morning. Is there a way to schedule texts? Because I want to bump text them. But do I have to just do that at the time, like after the emails go out?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And honestly, to me, that's a that is an example of something that is a feature, not a bug. Meaning, it sounds great to be able to do that, and then you do that and you forget, and you're out on an appointment or whatever, and then you come back 5 hours later and you're like, I have 35 text messages, replies that I need to reply to, and now these people are in a different, as crazy as it sounds, 5 hours from now, these people may have completely moved on. They don't even remember what they replied to. So I think it's actually a feature that you have to do that. And because then to do that, you have to think through, do I really want to send 250 text messages right now? Do I have the capacity right now to respond and engage with the folks that respond? Because that's all you're trying to do is a conversation, right?
Yeah. And I've got 8,000 people in my database too. So
yeah,
that could be a nightmare.
Yeah. I'll tell you, my buddy who I'm listing his property, he is I love him to death, but man, oh man, he asks 10,000 million questions. I mean, oh my goodness. Sorry. Did you have a follow-up there, James? I'm sorry. I got distracted by his text message. He just cracks me up.
Proceed.
Yeah. Anyway, he's like, this open house on Sunday, are you hosting? Is this someone else? Is this going to cost me any more money? Are there any other fees? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, John, knock it out. I already told him open houses will not sell your house. And I told him we're going to do an open house because another agent volunteered to. And it gives me another reason to shout to the world about your property. So relax. Anyway, I'm going to schedule out this email real quick. And I literally mean real quick. This is going to be the simplest email that you will see all week. This is not ideal to send on a Friday morning, but better than nothing. Ideally, especially if you're sending out a deal of the week email, if you can, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, late morning or early afternoon. Those are when open rates are highest. I think the next highest is Friday morning, so it's not the end of the world. But in a perfect world, I would have sent my deal of the week email on Tuesday and this one on Thursday. Who cares? Better done than perfect.
This is Thursday.
What's that?
This is Thursday.
I know, but I can't. To schedule them, it has to go a day
gotcha.
later. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yep. All good. And also, if I was sending it to 200, I would go and manually send it to 200 because I can select 200 and send it. But if I try and manually send it to this entire email database, I will have to go through 30 pages of 250. And I have actually done that before because I had something that I felt was so urgent that I didn't even want to wait 24 hours to do it. So I think it's an example of something that maybe that's not the most efficient way to do something, but it was effective or can be effective. And so it's sometimes work that you just kind of suck it up and do it. I'm going to say stunning horse property in Cumberland County. Who do you know that might be interested in interested in or looking for a horse property in Cumberland County. This property, the home is impeccably, I'm not going to use that word because I can't even spell it. the home is, what's the word I'm looking for? Or what's a simpler word? The home has been
Pristine.
Yeah, the old farm home is in pristine condition. I don't even know if I'm spelling that right. I think I am, but and that there is over 15 acres. It's currently in clean and green, and there are 4 horse stalls. Please let me know, or feel free to forward to anyone you know who might be interested. Thanks, Josh. And then where is it here? I could just type it out, but I'm lazy. I'm probably taking more time just doing this than it would if I just typed it out. But again, no, where is it? There it is. That's not even the one I like to use, but I'll paste it in here. So that, we don't need the email because the email is in it. I want my actual cell phone. I could have just typed it out a lot faster. Yes, 717.
Pristine is spelled different.
How do you spell pristine?
Pristine. I knew it was wrong, but I had to look it up myself. Like something's off.
I was 0 for 2. Impeccably. IMPECCABLY. Whatever. That's it. That's it. All text. I mean, and what? So here's the worst case scenario. All of the people in my email database see my name, eXp Realty, 1 extra time this week. Best case scenario, I get somebody who is interested and wants to check it out, and we write an offer. Like, if the worst thing is, it's another impression on people to remind them, insurance against them working with someone else. I mean, not all bad. Schedule it. Good to go.
Yeah, just real quick, I've got a property that's 60 acres, 4 pastures, house all built, new roof, walls. They've never finished it. It's just framed. Do you think that would be? That's the one I used. I was like, people are always looking for properties, but it would have to be built out.
What's the question?
Should I be looking for more move-in ready ones that
For what though? For a deal of the week?
Yeah, for
try anything.
Yeah.
Here's this is a great lesson for marketing in general. No matter how good you may think you are at marketing, myself, like especially, many times the things that I think will be of best interest or get the most response, etc., I'm dead wrong. Sometimes I'm right, but you just got to try stuff.
That's what split testing's for, right?
You just never know, because the words that we use and recognize and whatever, you just don't know. I had no idea how many replies that I would get to that deal of the week. And for context, or perspective, I didn't send a deal of the week email last week. It was a busy week, whatever. I did send one the week before. My buddy John, who's driving me crazy with his tags, I emailed that out before it was live because I could say off market, blah, blah, blah. I don't know that I got any replies, maybe one. And then this one, I've gotten 5 so far. And you know what? I forgot to check my spam folder. If you send a deal of the week to a big bucket of people, like a big, if you send it out to, I would say any number in the hundreds or higher, and you don't get any replies, check your spam or junk folder, because some weeks I think that's weird. I didn't get any replies. And then I have like 5 replies that showed up in my spam folder for some reason. I don't know why. But it does happen. So Susan, while you share that, I'm going to check my own spam folder, do my own recommendation. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to say, if anybody is really doing horse properties, since I own horses, they're going to be more interested in the barn and the horse facilities than they are the house. So don't focus on the house. Tell them about the barn, if there's an indoor arena, et cetera, et cetera. And for us who are used to looking at the house and thinking that's important, that it's not what's important to horse people. Just a side note.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple more things here, and then I'm gonna pivot to lead deck. What time is it? 10:10. So we did the horse property email. Who do you know? I did put together this outline of reverse prospecting. I'll put this in the chat. It'll be with the replay of this. This is my process that I follow, and it's specific to Bright. Documented, Loom video, prompts, etc. I will also include, I have on this list that I'm going to promote this listing, which I did during the 45 minutes that I was on earlier than normally scheduled. I will include and share that as well. Some literally in the last 24-hour enhancements to lead deck. This is still a work in progress, but you can take a screenshot. If you have, like in Bright, oh shoot, did this not save? Hold on. I got to check if I actually saved the edit that I made. I did not. Hold on, so I got to save that. In Bright, if I pull up my listings, or a listing of mine, and I hit the reverse prospect, I see all their names and so forth. The way it currently works is if you take a screenshot of this, it's using OCR. I don't even know what that stands for. This is what Sean told me it's using. Ocular
Optical character recognition.
There you go. All right. What I would like for it to be able to do is to copy and paste in. So that'll be the next version of it. He doesn't have that working yet. But for now, and I tested this yesterday, I took a screenshot of, it ended up being 16 contacts, and there they are. And now I can, if I pull that up on my phone, I can tap to call them, tap to text, tap to email them. Now, I don't know, did he add this as scripts? Well, there it is, Realtor Outreach scripts. So following the format that I used yesterday when I was reaching out to active buyers, I changed my buyer script to fit the property I'm reaching out about, which is another resource that I will include with today's is this will be a growing knowledge base of different text and email scripts that I'm sending to buyers with different buyer types and different deal types. So is it off market? Is it on market? Is it a foreclosure? Is it Is it a multifamily? Is it vacant land? Is it a whatever? Might it be a good fix and flip? Might it be a good turnkey rental? Whatever it is, more examples there. And so if you want to play with the reverse prospecting, you could or can change the outreach script here to be, this is the script that I use, the text and email, and you can tap to email, tap to text, tap to call. The next version of it will be, you can copy and paste in all of it and do that. And then also eventually the ability to push that entire list into Go High Level or Bold Trail or whatever, and just launch it as an automated campaign, which is how I do that way for myself, because most times when I'm doing reverse prospecting, it's 150, 200, 300. And I just like that for me is an effectiveness efficiency thing. I can set it up so that it gets out to those people. It takes me a few minutes versus me manually doing it for 300 people. Work worth doing regardless. But for me, that's the trade that I'm making in that. And it would be more effective if I did it one by one. But it is still effective and more efficient for me to do one to many. So it's still effective enough that for me, that's the decision I'm making.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Josh, the MLS has that client ID specific to each client.
I told him we need to add that too.
Yeah. So when you're doing it in Bold Trail, you said you were putting that.
So I'm doing it in Go High Level, and I put the client ID as company name, but then, or maybe it's business name, but then when you merge it, you have to, it's the naming, the nomenclature or whatever, the naming structure doesn't match. So I think you tag it as business name, but then when the merge field is company name, but it's the right one. And if I might have it reversed, it might, when you import it, it might be company name, and then when you merge it, it's business name, but it's one or the other.
Okay, because that's important. I get those from other agencies. Like, I have no idea.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What's the client? And we can't see their client for good reason, which is why they use the client ID. And sometimes you have to educate the agent, because they don't even know that they can look up by that ID. So I tell them that 5-digit ID that included, if you go into Bright and you choose your contacts and you pop that into the search box, it'll show you who the client is. Yeah.
I got one the other day. I was trying to find out which of my clients looked it up. It was me. It was an auto search I set up for myself.
Yeah. That does happen to me too.
It was actually this property. It's, just studs. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm going to reply to John real quick. I am promoting and marketing it heavily because it just means more exposure for the listing. But Jesse is the agent that is hosting it open, period. No additional fees or anything along those lines. And quite honestly, it is very unlikely that the buyer will come directly from that. But it may be that we get an additional buyer because they see the open house signs or they see the promotion online, etc. He better give me a hell of a review when I sell this thing fast, because he's driving me nuts. Anyway, speaking of review, I forgot to do anything with the review that I got earlier in the week. So there are a number of things or ways that I believe you can and should be getting more reviews, which, oh my goodness, so many with the reviews here. For my Founders Club members, we have a Google business profile for Lead Deck, and we would greatly appreciate if you could leave a review if you are liking it or have whatever, a honest feedback, rating, and review, because we're getting more and more people that are looking it up and they're like, it seems like this thing doesn't even exist. What is this thing? Like what is, you're the only one talking about it. I was, yeah, because we made it. Anyway, get more reviews for your local business. I'm trying to get to 100. I'm at 89. I'll get to 100 this year, but man, I just want 100. I want 100.
Josh, can you drop it in the chat?
Yeah.
Link?
Yep. That's a great point. Where did I have it here?
I have a calendar event every Thursday to send a request for a review.
And here's the thing, or here's a thing to consider. You can get reviews from people that didn't just close a transaction from you.
Oh, yeah.
You all know people that they know, like, and trust you. They may have never done a deal with you because, for example, I've lived in this house since 2004, and I know lots of, anyway, there are many ways other than directly after or before a settlement for you to get reviews. You can get reviews from other vendors or service providers that you have a good working relationship with. There's lots of ways that you can get more reviews. And if you go and look my local reviews, you will see that especially some of the older ones are other realtors or other people where it wasn't around a specific transaction. And that was a way for me to kind of get the ball rolling.
And just a word of caution for folks. If you're going to do a swap, like, oh, another agent in another market, I do this all the time. Don't do it right away. Have one person leave it, and then they say Google wait 3 to 4 weeks or something. Otherwise, Google might be like, oh, this is some kind of spam thing, and they might not let either of your reviews go through. You
also have to be careful. Like if you're at a brokerage, let's say, or you're part of a group and you're like, hey, let's everybody swap reviews. If you have like 16 real estate agents leave you a review in one day, you can virtually guarantee Google's going to scrub those all. So you have to be careful and strategic about it and just play the long game.
Yeah,
one a week that sticks versus, a bunch that they end up scrubbing now or sometime in the future. You don't want to waste your time. So I got a review. I dropped the ball on this one. I got a review from clients. We settled in December. I didn't even ask her, but it's kind of obvious why she gave me reviews. Like she has tons and tons of reviews on the Google local guides thing. So she left me a review. Let me find it here. I don't know. It says 10 hours ago. I don't remember. Oh, Monday. Okay. So she left me a review. Josh is the best realtor we could have asked for. The crazy thing about this is this deal was wild. Like it was a VA renovation loan. And I mean, all kinds of stuff happened with this. It took forever. We had to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And just when we had everything cleared, then the government shutdown happened and he didn't get a paycheck for a month or something like that. So we had to wait even longer. We literally went under contract in April and it didn't settle until December. Anyway, she still left me. I think that's probably why subconsciously I was like, I'm not gonna hit them up for a review right away. But she left me a review. So number one, make sure you reply to all reviews. Reply, and I hit the heart button. That heart is me, but whatever. Google uses AI. Like if you hit tap reply, it'll populate like an AI generated, probably Gemini, not probably, I'm sure it's with Gemini, that you can either just paste that, but I like to make it relevant. And when or how possible, weave in to your reply keywords or phrases that you want to show up for more. Now, it was hard for me to do this on this one, in part because where they bought, I don't really want more business, if I'm being honest. It's like, I didn't even know, I had never been to the city before. It's not like that far from me, but it's far enough. And I had never been to the city before. And I didn't even realize that I was that close to this particular county. It's Northumberland County. I was like, I didn't even know I was this close to Northumberland County. And I've lived here for 20 years. Anyway, so for me, I didn't necessarily want to put in, what's an example? So an example would be, they leave me a review and I say, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to help you and Xavier buy your first home in Herndon, PA. I would do that if it was Mechanicsburg or Enola or Harrisburg, et cetera. So like telling Google, giving those words. But there are, what I did with this one was purchase your first home. Now, very transparently, I don't really like working with first-time home buyers, but Cosette does. So when I get those, it gives me good people to give Cosette. All right. So, and like that was real. They were buying their first home. It was a young couple buying their first home. Anyway, so I replied. And then one simple way that I use this without me having to say anything is I screenshot it, okay, with her review and my reply, and then just add it to your story. And you can put music to it or whatever. Actually, let me do this first. I didn't do this yet. Let me find the picture again. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. I didn't do the optimization. So I'm going to geotag it. Now, I'm not going to geotag the house they bought because, again, I don't want nothing against Herndon, PA, but like, anyway, I'm going to tag where we had settlement, which is Camp Hill, PA, which is an area I definitely would like more business in. So I'm going to tag Camp Hill, PA. And then for the caption, I still haven't done your recommendation, James, to get my name to spell right. My last name. eXp Realty, Realtor, Listing Agent, Buyer's Agent, Reviews. It's good enough. Good enough. So now I've got that as the caption and I've geotagged the screenshot because it's just a screenshot on my phone. Now, if you take a picture, like if I take a picture, at least on my phone, if I take a picture of my house, it geotags the place. But you're adding the geotags, like when you download an image from Listings to Leads, it doesn't have a geotag. I've got to get to some calls and texts and so forth. But anyway, so now that I have it optimized, I'm gonna create a story, and I'm just gonna post that as my story. I'll add some audio. I mean, why not? Oh, here we go. I don't think it'll come through here, but this is how you do it. This is how we do it. I don't know if you can hear that. But little Montel Jordan. So I'm going to share that. Now that was on my personal profile, but I'm going to do that on this is my Josh Shanley EXP page. Where do I post a story? There we go. Add to story. And beautiful. That's terrible. I'll do that one. Whatever. I'll post that there. And then where else can I post that as a story? Well, here I'm going to share what else I typically do with these, but not all at the same time. Because like you don't want to like another thing I will do. Well, I'll do it on TikTok. You can just upload it to TikTok as just pick the photo, and TikTok will turn it into, I think, just a 15-second whatever, and you can add sound. I don't want that. That's Money by Pink Floyd. That makes it sound like I'm, I'm only in it for the money or whatever. I like to get paid, but I enjoy the game as well. So let me see here.
Hey Josh, High Level is pushing our reviews out automatically.
Yeah.
So I think
she might have gotten that, but they wouldn't have even been in there. But they do. When you say push them out, what do you mean?
It's like automatically posting to any of our accounts hooked up.
Oh, I don't think I have that hooked up.
Oh, yeah. But for your personal profiles, which you do want your friends and family sphere to see, then you could go in and share it from your business profile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just made a note to do that. So I wasn't.
Yeah. So there are some free, simple things that you can do. Number one. Number two, reviews like that are great as like retargeting ads in whatever, like on Facebook or on Meta, Facebook and Instagram, etc. Because it's someone else telling the world you're good at what you do. It's not you telling them. It's, you know, it's someone else. And that's a topic for another day, the whole retargeting thing. I do have in the school community, the free school community, leads, listings, and leverage. If you go to replays, mastermind replays, there are several in there on retargeting. If anybody wants to do a deep dive on that. The other thing I've recently done with reviews is, this references something from Monday or Tuesday. The smart campaign, the email sequence that I have going out to leads that I'm capturing with the website lead capture script with fastcashoffers.ai. In the writing of that sequence, I used AI to help me with the writing of that. And what I fed it was I literally just copied and pasted. I opened up my reviews and I just copied all of that and pasted it in and said, here are a bunch of Google reviews with people talking about, you know, their experience with me. Use this to help me draft a 3-email sequence that would compel someone to want to do business with me. You know what? I can dig up, I'll add to that document the prompt that I used. I don't have that doc open right now, but the prompt that I used to help me write those emails, I'll add that to that doc, which is referenced earlier in the week. I forget what day that was on but if you leaddeck.ai/closers, I think it was episode 8. No, 7. Yeah, episode 7 has the website lead follow-up sequence. And I'll add to that doc the prompt that I gave ChatGPT. Now, what I can't, I mean, it has to be your own reviews, obviously. But at least the prompt that I told what I was trying to do with the reviews for those that want to use that with Chat or Gemini or anything else. Oh,
Josh, real quick.
yeah.
You said something earlier about you added the review that you just did the screenshot of to your EXP story or page or profile, or what was that you added that to for
So
EXP?
I added it to my story on my personal Facebook profile. And I put it on my story on my Josh Shanley EXP Facebook page. So my local business Facebook page.
Gotcha.
So it's because it's 2 different audiences. The reach will be different on the 2 of them.
Okay.
I also, actually, I'm going to do this tomorrow, but I will make that a Google business profile post. So I will create a post. It'll be that image. I will copy and paste Shannon's review, and I will choose call now. The reason why I'm not going to do that now is I already posted on Google Business Profile like 2 hours ago, and I'm already too inconsistent with my posting there. So I'm going to save that for tomorrow so I have something to post. But that'll be what it looks like. The image will literally be that screenshot. The text will just be Shannon's review. I'll just copy that text, and it'll say tap call now if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate here in Central PA. That'll be the call to action. I shared update or enhancement number 1 for our Founders Club members, Lead Deck Founders Club, which is the realtor outreach, the reverse prospecting. But we also have another update. How do I find this? If you go to Deal Deck and you choose MLS import, you can import expired listings. So if you go into your MLS, export the spreadsheet with expired listings, it has to have the full address, not in one box or one column, but it has to have the street address, the city, state, and the zip code. I say that because the default export in Bright did not have that. In Bright, I had to switch it to a standard export, and then it had that. You upload it, and it goes and finds, or does it? I think he was just having, maybe I broke it. I think he was just having me test the fact that you could import and it would find them. Because I don't think, or maybe I have to run the deck. Hold on. Maybe this is user error. Hold on. Did I run this yet? I'll have to figure out the next step, but just know that we are way closer to expireds. Can we automate it? We're not sure yet, but I also know, like, I've been automating that forever and it doesn't work as well as you, like, if you actually find the ones you really want and then tap to email, or not tap to email, but you send them a personal email, a personal text message, or make an actual call. Like, that is one I am certain. I have had a bunch of expired data go through automated campaigns, and like, I've gotten tiny little bits. It's another example that it is way more effective to go deeper with a smaller pool of people than to be like, I'm going to market to all the expireds in the, the Tri-County area. Because a lot of times, here's the other thing. A lot of times the ones that respond, I'm like, I don't even want that listing. I shouldn't have even sent to that. Anyway, Doreen.
So in my MLS, I have a status that's, I can look up the expireds that have not yet relisted. So will you have the ability to add that? Because if you pull a whole bunch of expireds to relist it, it's like a waste.
Well, you already can. So you would only export the ones that fit that. So two things. I don't think I can do that in Bright. If somebody knows how to do that in Bright, please tell me. But what the plan is that when you run this deck, we'll also use AI to check, is this property actively listed on one of the portals? I mean, it doesn't, like any of the portals, it still won't be perfect or flawless, and none of them are, but it should significantly lower the chances that they're already relisted. So if you have a way to scrub it before importing, obviously do that. And if you don't, he is working on a way to have like an additional sort of fail safe against that. And also, if something gets through, I'm not saying, like, we want to do everything possible not to be soliciting actively marketed listings. And it has happened to me a number of times over the last 2-3 years. And in every case, I'm so sorry. When we got this information, it didn't look like it had been actively relisted. I will make sure not to bother your client again, Mr. or Mrs. Realtor. But this is very new. Like, literally, he was like, I think last night, he said, can you test this? So if you can, scrub it first, and we will, as quickly as possible, have that so that there is the scrubbing that happens when you actually run it to get the contact info.
And I just want to add, the light bulb moment happened for me with the less is more. It's such a change in my thinking, because I'm so used to, like, going through this whole, data list and compiling everything and then going through the list. And it's really true what you're saying. When you have a smaller pool of people that are actively looking to do what you're trying to help them with, you have better results.
Not only that,
shorter period of time.
Yeah,
but it's a mind shift change.
It is. I have some thoughts on that. The first thing I'll say is the other point of view or perspective I have on that is it's also way less overwhelming. Meaning, if I pull a deck in here and it's 147 cash buyers, do you think I'm really going to reach out to 147? It's not going to happen. And then what happens is I may not reach out to any of them because I'm
That's
just
what
like,
happens.
it's too much.
If I'm being honest, it exhausts me, and then I can't make the calls that day, and then they start to age, and then the data has to be pulled again. I was doing what you say you did about, Frankensteining everything together, but by the time you do that, it's exhausting. For me, it's mentally exhausting. So I can't even get on the phone after all that. And then, like I just said, the information gets aged and it's no longer good, and you have to do it again. So it became an endless process of being unproductive, quite honestly.
Yep.
So I really appreciate Deal Deck, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, thank you.
But I had to wrap my head around going, less is more.
Yeah.
And it finally happened this week. So
For Campbell too, because I had to beat him up several times, and it finally started to connect it. I don't need a whole county's worth of cash buyers.
Years, Josh. And if you're doing something one way forever,
Totally.
it's really, it's hard.
A couple of other thoughts on
change.
this. A couple of other thoughts on this because I want to piggyback on this. The other way to think about it is if I used the number 147. Even if I get over the overwhelm and I actually do the outreach, it's like going to the gym for the first time in years and you work out for 3 hours. You're going to wake up the next morning and think, I'm never going back to the gym. That was the worst experience ever. Versus a little bit each day, you grow your muscles, and then all of a sudden, okay, I can handle a deck of 25 now because I've been doing 5 a day for 3 months. I can take on a little bit more. I've gained some muscle, mass, and the other thing, I've said this a couple of times this week, and I don't know why it took me this long to make this association. Most of us, our entire realtor careers, have been experiencing or have had the I'll say had the experience that internet leads. However, if you generate them for free or you're paying for them, the conversion rate on them is just not good. It's very, very much a numbers game. 0.5 to 1%. Yesterday, the 3-unit off-market multifamily, I called 3 and I got Cam. It doesn't always happen that way because Dana on the DealSprint, she called 10 and didn't, she didn't have the same kind of progress. But if Dana does 10 a day for 5 days, I am 1000% confident she will have had conversations with somewhere between 5 and 10 people. And some number, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are going to be at least somewhat curious about the deal she's calling about. As Doreen was sharing that, it reminded me that I needed to send a follow-up message to Cam because he acknowledged, I know that he opened the email, etc., but I haven't heard back from him. So I just said, hey, any feedback or interest in this one. And either way, whether or not he is interested in this one, the next step is, and this probably won't happen this week because my kids are off. This is the last Closers Cafe of the week. They're off today, or they're off tomorrow. They're off Monday, whatever. But sooner than later, I will reach out to the multifamily owners in Hanover that have some signals that they may be motivated or distressed. So it might be that they're tax default, or they've got an involuntary lien, or they're out of state absentee, etc. At some point that will happen. I just have other more low hanging fruit.
Their win.
Please.
So yesterday I was part of that challenge too. I had to get on the phone with Joan and find out some more info on that triplex, but I used that as bait. I went through my 10 cash buyers and got 2 of them on the phone. So started some conversations.
So you were reaching out on a 3-unit?
A 3-unit.
But you pulled the cash buyers?
I did. Then I'm like, wait, well, I shouldn't be doing cash buyers. I should do multifamily.
Well, shouldn't or whatever.
There's
conversations. Yeah,
crossover. It's
conversations.
not as
Yeah,
targeted, right?
sure.
Yeah. It dawned on me like, oh, what am I doing? Okay. But just the process of going through this, it's like, oh, okay. Now I know how to get into the app, and you just got to do it and get those reps in. So
0 to 1 is the hardest of anything always.
Yep.
Using something for the first time always is the hardest. And then it the sooner you create the habit of it, the easier it becomes. And then eventually it works its way into your kind of normal operating procedure. So I still have, and obviously folks, if you've got appointments or whatever, please get to dollar producing activities or follow along and do some of the work as we go together. But early when I went live, I pulled a deck that is active landlord buyers for the townhouse that I just went live with. And the reason why, oh, perfect, actually. Yep, I totally get that, period. You will be at the top of my list if or when we come across any others that might be worth checking out, period. Thanks for taking a look and giving us feedback on it. So that was Cam. Hey, Siri, remind me next Tuesday morning at 10:15 a.m. to reach out to multifamily sellers in Hanover. That way, hopefully I don't forget because I got to get to these. So I pulled a deck here, and honestly, I don't really care. I'm just going to I'm going to reach out to all of them, but immediately I can see that some of these may be more likely to be interested in his, because I can see from these last purchase views, this is a new construction purchased a little over a year ago. That's a new construction townhome similar to his. This is a not as new, but still newer construction townhome. So I can see immediately that there are a few in here that might be interested. So I'm going to go to my scripts and I'm going to say for so-and-so, RE turnkey rental property in Mechanicsburg, Legacy Park. It looks like you own a couple of rental properties in the Mechanicsburg area. We have one that we just listed in Madison Court, Legacy Park, that is in mint condition and ready for a tenant. Whatever. Let me know either way. I realized yesterday my saved signature on my phone, I already have thanks-Josh. So I was sending it out and it was saying it twice. So I'm going to delete that on mine. But I did mention yesterday, if you don't have a saved signature on your phone and you want to have that included, just put it in the, just copy and paste it in there. Josh Shanley, eXp Realty, phone number, blah, blah, blah. Looks like you own a couple rental properties in the Mechanicsburg area. We just listed one in Madison Court that is in mint condition and tenant ready. And before I save this, I'm actually going to add this to these examples because I don't know that I have. So I'm going to say active landlord buyer. text. And I'm going to see, I don't know if I'm going to set a timer. Maybe somebody will set a timer. I'm going to see how quickly I can get through a number of these. And because of the time and how long it has taken me to get to this point, for now, I am just going to email and text. Normally, if I'm doing a session like this, I would also call. Oh, shoot, I forgot. You got to remember to do this. And I forget all the time. You got to remember when you edit these to
Roll on the bottom and say,
save, like
Sean,
save.
I know Shawnee needs to put it like right at the bottom of each of them because I don't remember to scroll down.
I'll that's a great recommendation, Dana. We need to add it like because he can just have the button repeating and it can function the same for it's saving all and it could be there multiple times. So we all are less likely to miss that because it's annoying.
I did that like 4 times yesterday.
Yeah. So I'm on my phone. I'm pulling up this deck.
Hey, quick question, Josh. Do
Yeah.
you mind? I pulled multifamily investors for that zip code and it showed 8. I clicked run and it's only showing 3.
Okay. Can you screenshot that
Mhm.
and or screen record that for Sean? It could be that some of them were already pulled as cash buyers, or it could be something else.
Okay.
I don't have a good explanation as to why that happened. And also it happened to me. This is supposed to be 10. I ran it and it was only 7. Now, the good news is if you run 10 and it only comes back 7, it's just 7 credits. Like you don't get, it's not like you get dinged if it can't do that, but we're still trying to figure out. And he may have answered that in a way that is more clear and understandable. And I may have just missed that. But my understanding is it could be a number of different things that are happening there.
Okay, thanks.
All right. This one, there are no mobile numbers that are not on the DNC. So I'm just going to tap to email for now. Buyers, I don't have a problem messaging, but what I'll probably do is find one that I can text. That way I have a text that I can copy and paste into the one. We'll see. But I got through that one already. I gotta tell Sean again, I don't have the ability to toggle through. I don't know why it's not there. Sorry, James, go ahead.
Oh, did you say you don't have a problem texting the DNC buyers?
Buyers. I absolutely do not call or text the sellers if they're on the DNC. But buyers, if I'm looking at a guy like this that owns 9 properties, 4.2 in value, and I'm calling with something that I already know, I'm not at that point. I'm not robocalling. I guess technically I'm cold calling, but like I'm looking at you, dude. Like I see, I see you're the real deal. And so I'm going to do that here.
You just can't do it from the app. You got to copy the.
You have to, right. We won't pre-populate. We won't, if it's on the DNC, you can't tap to text or tap to call. You can copy it. You can hold the button. Like I held the button and said, I'll show in a minute. Actually, no, I'm not, because I'm not going to demonstrate doing that. But if you hold the number, it at least on an iPhone, if I press the number, it'll pop up call, message, whatever. This is Josh with eXp Realty, period. It looks like you own a couple of rental properties in the Mechanicsburg area, ? Are you looking for any deals right now, ? We just listed one in Legacy Park that is in mint condition and ready for a tenant. And then I said that the arrow wasn't there, and then it was there. So I don't know how he did that. But like this one, 21 properties owned, 6.8 million in value. And I've got a bunch of mobile numbers that are good. So I'm gonna text all of them. Only one of them is him. But what I have found is I've had numerous instances where the message is forwarded along to the right one. I mean, he likely only has one cell phone, but I want to give myself every chance to reach him. And I'm going to do this just because I like demonstrating. When you run the deck, it does a skip trace based on property address. And in many cases, you get data. In this case, I have 4 numbers, no emails. I can do an enhanced search, which Sean covered. He was talking about that on yesterday's DealSprint. That is then going, and it's like a credit report based search. And it does cost another credit if it is able to be enhanced. If you can't get more data, like if no more data is populated, it doesn't. But if it can, you're charged an additional credit and you have more at bats. It pulled back an email, and just looking at it, it's his email. It's his name. First name dot last name at, this one's at Hotmail, which, some people say, like, Lowe was like, AOL.com. Is anybody using AOL? I get lots of people. And my wife, I give her a hard time all the time. Pam, she still is using a Yahoo. I was like, all the time. I'm like, can you just join Gmail? Hey, I can't help the kids with this Google spreadsheet. Yeah, because you don't have a Gmail. What are you doing? Anyway, this only has one number, but it's a mobile number, and it's not on the DNC. And, oh no, I'm sorry. It has one number and it has 2 emails. One of them is NYU, nyu.edu. Like, that's him. And the other one is his name at Gmail. So he's getting these emails. Let's see here. This one has 2 phones and 2 emails. I'm confused because I've said I've tapped to texted this number previously, but with a different name. Whatever. All right. I'm through 5. Let's see here, Charles M. I'm gonna tap the text, or tap the email rather. This is terrible, but sometimes I make a judgment call on whether or not I'm going to text or call a buyer on a DNC by their name. I'm just saying, like, my brain, I can't help it. Like, my brain, this guy, I'm thinking, I don't know, he might be grumpy, but I like grumpy. So I don't care. Like, I used to be like, why is everybody grumpy? Now I'm like, I just give grumpy back. And then they're like, all right, you're one of us, So, hey, Charles, this is Josh with eXp Realty, period. Looks like you own a couple of rental properties in the Mechanicsburg area, period. Are you looking for any other deals or properties to add to your portfolio right now? ? We just listed one in Legacy Park that is in mint condition and ready for a tenant. I mixed it up there a little bit on purpose. I added in more just to give more ideas and honestly to feed. We're taking all of these and feeding an AI brain so that as easy, like if you ever get stuck, you can go and say, what I have this deal. I want to send it to this people. Give me a script or give me a template to run with so that we're making it as easy as possible to, for anyone to implement. All right. So this one, the first number, just FYI, somebody asked this yesterday, but actually a buddy of mine texted me, Jason, and he had done the individual property skip trace, and it was a lot of phone numbers. And this doesn't mean it's always accurate, but the results are ranked by likelihood of them being accurate and reachable. So like this fifth landline, there's a very low chance that that's actually the right number or active. Like most likely if I tap that landline, it's going to be like we did away with our landline years ago. It was a VoIP number. So like it probably still shows up. If you skip trace me, it's probably at the bottom of the list and it's not going to go anywhere. The first number's on the DNC, but there are 2 more mobiles that aren't. So I'm going to send them to those and hope that if they're not him, it is very likely that it's someone related to him, just the way skip tracing works. And it might be dad, it might be son, it might be daughter, it might be wife, it might be whoever. But I have lots of instances where people will call, text, or email me and say, for some reason, you texted my wife or my dad or whatever, but it sounds like you've got a deal. What's going on? What do you got? This email is also very, very likely his email. Now, I keep saying now. I'm trying to follow my own advice and eliminate the use of useless words. I say now, so, and like so many times. I'm getting better at and but I still got to eliminate now and so and like. So hopefully stating that publicly, I'll get better at it. I'm going to run the next 10. This is like the 3rd time ever I've run more than 10 on a buyer deck. On seller decks, you got to work through more data to find the hand raisers. The point I want to make while I do that is, in this example, I'm doing this work for my client. You better be darn well sure I'm going to let him know as well. And he's already my client. And also, this is actually a good opportunity for me to weave this in. Yesterday, Valerie Wilkes, she recently joined our EXP organization. She used to be in Georgia. They recently moved to Gulf Shores, Alabama. So she's essentially starting from scratch. And one of the things that she is doing to spike some activity is reaching out to for sale by owners. We did that on Monday. She has 4 appointments with for sale by owners tomorrow. And she was asking some very good questions, which made me think a couple of things. Number one, I need to better outline and document what to do that has worked for me. Okay. It would just be what's worked for me, meaning she used a script. She used a different text script than I used Monday. She used one that I shared in the 5 weeks to 5 listings challenge, which if you're a Founders Club member, if it's not already in the get started, it'll be there soon. It was very the challenge was wonderful, and some people got some crazy results. But then it was all of these different recordings and documents or whatever. So we're organizing all in a way that's more easily consumable with infographic and summary and so forth. She used the FSBO script that I shared there, which is, and I'm going to botch it, but it's something along the lines of, hi, Janita, this is Josh with eXp Realty. I have an out-of-state client who would be interested in making an offer on your property at street address. Is it still available, and would you be open to an offer? Now, I think she just took the assumptive, like I don't think she included the available. Splitting hairs. She got 4 appointments. She's like, now what? Go on the appointments, take pictures of everything you can possibly take with the lens that I want to have enough intel that I can share with a legitimate out-of-state client that they could look and feel like they see the whole property. I think a video tour is a little excessive, but you can, when I go and preview a for sale by owner or an off-market property, I usually have 50 to 75 pictures. That's step one. So you go through, you're taking pictures, you're also trying to establish rapport and find where there might be, an opportunity for you to provide value to them. Before going to the next listing, like literally in my car, I will create, I haven't transitioned yet to Campbell's recommendation of using Amazon Drive to create a photo album. So what I do currently is it will be a Google photo album. So photos.google.com. I have the Google photo app on my phone. I create a new album. I put the address as the name of the album and I upload all the pictures. That way I'm not doing that later. Like if she waits to do that until after all four, it'll just be like, it'll be unnecessarily more difficult because she'll have to figure out, was this picture the last one of this listing or this one or the first one of the next one, etc. Anyway, then, so she goes on all the appointments. She said, well, now what do I do? Number one, she's going to submit them for institutional offers, preliminary offers, and pull the buyer counts for any of those four that might be a good deal for a cash buyer or an active landlord, or I didn't even ask her if there was any multifamily, etc. And also documenting and demonstrating to the for sale by owner that you're doing all of this. Meaning, send them a personal loom showing them the preliminary offers that you are working on and you are going to get submitted with all of the photos that I took. And I am going to be reaching out to all of these, if appropriate, active buyers locally here that I also have access to as well. Because you're doing it anyway, you might as well. It's the reason why I do these. I wish I would stop talking so much and actually do the work more, but it's why I do these. I'm doing the work anyway. I feel like I could, hopefully these are valuable. So, and I have no problem being on camera, much to my children's chagrin, because they're like, enough already. Anyway, Doreen.
Just a handy tidbit. So when I was doing BPOs a lot, I would have to take multiple property pictures all at one time. And what I would do is something really simple. I would just, as I walked up to the property, I would take a picture of the address, then go take my photos. And then I knew when my next address came up, it was the next property. So I don't know if that's helpful.
Yeah, that's great. Any little things like that, I think is super helpful because I say this a lot, efficiency and effectiveness, right? How can we be more efficient so we can be more effective? And there are breaking points of efficiency, meaning you can only work so many hours in the day, et cetera. So there is a point where you literally can't be any more efficient. And then it goes to being more effective, which actually leads me to something that I wanted to reiterate again today. And I kind of already hit on this, which is being able to communicate with less words and therefore be more effective means you are more, like, you can be paid more highly per output. So being able to communicate in a Loom video effectively in 60 seconds, what might take someone else 180 seconds, number one, is better for the consumer. And number two, for you, means you can do 3 times as much in the same amount of time.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Great share. Thank you. I'm working through the next. I really am curious.
But I've got to run, so have a great weekend with
Thanks,
your family.
Doreen.
And thank you to everyone.
Thanks for
See you
sharing too.
Tuesday.
I am curious where the discrepancy in. So I'm going to get with Sean on what the discrepancy. James had asked, I pulled this amount. It was supposed to be X. It was supposed to be 10. It only spit out 5. So I've pulled 2 batches of 10, and they've gotten me 7 and 6. So we'll figure that out. I know there's good reason. I just don't remember exactly what the reason is. I'm going to keep working through this next grouping, and then I'm going to wrap it up because I need something to eat. And I don't want to eat in front of you. I ate in front of some of you yesterday on the DealSprint. Here's what I'm certain of. I have no idea if this work will actually help me sell John's listing. But 2 things I'm certain of. It gives me a way to demonstrate, regardless of whether or not we get an acceptable offer over the next 3 days, that I've done work on your behalf. It is not because I'm not doing everything I possibly can, number 1. And number 2, at least one of these are going to be interested in doing something. So if they say not interested, awesome. What are you looking for? Because the one I'm texting right now, he has 26 properties. I guarantee there's at least one that he doesn't want or that is driving him nuts. So I'll use Sean's script, the same one that Campbell used yesterday. Do you have any in your portfolio that you really wish you didn't have right now? And I'll also ask, what are you looking for? What types of properties are you more looking for? And I say that particularly with this listing because it's a newer townhome. And so it is for an investor that is more interested in appreciation and low maintenance than this guy's last purchase. It was clearly a fixer-upper ranch house. He's probably not interested in my deal, but I don't care. Because he'll say, I'm not interested in that. And I'll say, well, what are you looking for? I have no idea how sometimes the little arrow to toggle through the deck, sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. I'm going to figure out with Sean why that is, but I'm curious. I'll be able to report back on Tuesday. No cafe tomorrow or Monday because my kids are off. I'm curious to report back on Tuesday how many responses I got since I'm just doing this email and texting. Because Cam yesterday, I called, emailed, and texted. He called back within like a minute. But as I indicated earlier, everything's a test. So I'm testing today. What amount of response might I get by just texting and emailing? So here's one. I tried to enhance it. It didn't find any more data. So it just said, you weren't charged a credit. I had a phone number for him, but I didn't have an email. I'm going to do 2 more. And then we're going to come in for a landing. I think I already reached out to this guy. Maybe not. No, I didn't. Blue texts are always good. Here's the other thing you can do. And I do this occasionally. Is if it's somebody that I really want to get a hold of, if he doesn't reply to that text later today, I'll do this. If you hold it, I'll put a question mark. I'll put the question mark thing because then it sends another notification. And something I do too as well, this one I do more frequently. If I've had a text conversation and then all of a sudden they're ghosting me, I will use this Kevin Hart meme. So I just go to my GIFs and I pull up, whoops, I hit the wrong button. I'll just do I'll just do that. That is incredibly effective. Literally more than half of the people that I do that with respond. And usually it's either, I'm so sorry, I've been busy, whatever, or I'm so sorry, I've been busy. Yes, I'm still interested, blah, blah, blah. Or I'm so sorry, I've been busy. We're putting that on hold for now. Very rarely is it anything other than, one of those two. And all I'm trying to do is get some sort of response, some sort of yes, no, maybe so. What's going on? I'm just tapping away here. I got one more, I think, to hit up, and then I'll take care of a couple of housekeeping items, and we'll roll into a long weekend. See, this one is definitely not this one. It's saying James. I should correct this. This is clearly Vanessa. In fact, I'm going to. No, you know what? Yeah. I am going to change it to Vanessa because I can clearly see. And Vanessa there was two names on it. It was James and Vanessa. But it took me seconds to change that. It might have been the daughter. The mom was Sheila, but the name, or Sherry rather, but the name, whatever, doesn't matter. It takes seconds since the message is pre-populated. Okay, so a couple of Bill, perfect jumping off point to wrap this up. Yesterday's DealSprint was recorded, and eventually, if not already, we're going to find out together. Whoop, not Springs. There we go. Yeah, it's there. I don't know why we're featuring DealSprint 1, but whatever. If you go to leaddeck.ai/sprint, you can watch either last week's with Stephanie or yesterday's with Campbell, James, and Dana. And I'm intending to make this just pretty much a recurring theme because I like them and they're fun. And I think I maybe have one volunteer for next week, but if somebody else wants to volunteer, I'm happy to do it. And if we don't have volunteers, I will end up doing them. So that's the deal sprints. If you go to leaddeck.ai/closers, that's where these are uploaded. Today's will be in there later today, tomorrow morning at the latest, with all of the resources. There were a number of them shared today. No live tomorrow or Monday. I'll be back Tuesday morning. So Tuesday we'll have the Closers Cafe in the morning, and for our Founders Club members, the mastermind in the afternoon. And I've had a couple of requests from people. I guess I would call it like Lead Deck 101. So if there's anything that is still confusing or holding you back, not strategy-wise, but literally like, how do I use it? What do I do in like more like tactically? How do I use the actual app? If you have anything like that, if you can message me ahead of time or just bring that the day of, I'm totally like that would be, I think, helpful and useful.
Hey, Josh, I got a fix and flip deal off market.
Yeah.
That's like pretty hot and loaded. So if it doesn't get sold this week, whatever you need, I get on.
Beautiful.
As an example. So.
Or that's perfect. I think I'm scheduled to be a guest on Joseph's.
You are.
So either one, if you haven't sold it by Monday and or Wednesday, one of those 2 days, let's do it.
Let's do it Monday.
Yeah, perfect.
Monday's perfect.
Yeah, that gives me. I'd much rather do that than me do some like stuffy presentation with slides. It's way more fun and more practical for everybody watching.
Yeah.
And
And I had the numbers, everything loaded up, ready to go. So
sweet.
we should be
Perfect.
for Monday.
Perfect. Which most of you know me. I am so much like just take action. And also, I will tell you, reaching out to a deck of cash buyers on Saturday afternoon is not ideal. They're like us. They want to hang out with their family or they've got parties, etc. So in a perfect world, when you're reaching out to the active investor buyers, Monday through Thursday is ideal. I have had success on Friday mornings, but just know that they are like most other people. From Friday noon on, they're like, it's the weekend, you know, like, and they're just way less responsive. And even if they do respond, they're much less likely to be open and like in that kind of deal mode, right? Because they're thinking about, you know, where do I got to run the kids this weekend, or what, you know, what sort of social events or whatever the case may be. Again, if that's your only block of time, that is better than nothing. But we're going to have much more success with low if we reach out on Monday than if we did, you know, Saturday morning or Friday afternoon. Anyway, thank you all.
Great motivation today.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks
Appreciate
all.
you.
Yeah, of course.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. Have a good weekend and hopefully see everybody back Tuesday morning.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.